welcome back to blackdoctor.org. I am your host, Dr. Renee. And in case you didn't know, April is a lot of things, but today we're celebrating Financial Literacy Month. So what I need everyone to do is please let us know where you're tuning in from, and then make sure you share this broadcast wherever you're watching it. Make sure you share. If you have questions, make certain you type them in the chat. If you know anybody who needs to make some money legitimately without multi-level marketing or anything crazy or illegal, please let them know about this broadcast, because we are going to be talking about two ways that a lot of our community don't know how we can make money. So please make sure that you share the broadcast, and I will get started. So our first guest was recently on the Breakfast Club. So we're going to check out a clip.
Important for people to know, because certain stocks do pay you dividends, right?
Yeah, dividends are really just a reward from the corporation saying we want to thank you for being a shareholder. Mm-hmm. So it's a way in which companies share in profit. And not all companies pay dividends.
Why do some companies do it and some don't?
It's a way for them to share in the profit. It basically rewards you as a shareholder. And they get an opportunity to write some of that off too.
Can you live off of dividends?
You can, girl. So you can basically figure out a way for you to, getting a certain amount of money every month in dividends. So we work with ladies in the Stocks Stilettos Society, and also another program that I do to help them figure out like how many shares they would have to own to get X amount of dollars a month in dividends, because that's passive income.
Right.
So, you guys, tonight we have Cassandra Cummings. That was her sitting down with Angela Yee and Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy, and Jay the Trader. So, you guys, I never bring anything that doesn't make sense, because this is blackdoctor.org. We only give factual information here. Even the non-health information we give factual information. So, Jay the Trader is how I learned how to trade futures, and Cassandra Cummings is how I learned how to trade options. So, I am bringing you my coaches. So, welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Hey.
Of course,
Good to see you again.
So, you guys, let's just first get started. So, Cassandra might have to leave us early, so we're going to start with options. So, Cassandra, explain to people what are options, and why do you think that it is that none of us knew about them, and there's not a whole lot of us in this space?
Well, first of all, options are contracts to buy lots of stocks. So a lot is 100 shares. So one contract is equivalent to 100 shares of stocks, and it's a right, it's an obligation. I'm sorry, it's a contract. So you don't have an obligation to buy the stocks. It's just a right. So that means that you can make money off the contract. You can make money off exercising the contracts. And it's a way in which I say, we can basically make money off of renting stocks as opposed to owning them outright. It's cheaper typically to rent the stocks, right, and make money off of it versus buying some of the stocks outright, because some stocks can be really expensive. The Amazons, the Googles, and things like that.
Right, Amazon,
really
Google,
expensive.
Tesla, very expensive. But then you could get a Tesla contract for $50, $60.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's a way for you to leverage your money and make your money work hard for you, and you not have to actually put up so much of it. Buying 100 shares of Tesla would probably be cost prohibitive for most people, but buying a contract, you can probably, flip that money and make a significant amount of money so that you can then buy shares of Tesla. I think our community has not been privy to trading options because, number one, most of us are fairly new to investing, right? And number two, this has been something that more stockbrokers and people in the investment world have been knowing about for a long time. I mean, options have been around since 1973, when the Chicago Board of Options Exchange actually introduced them. And more recently, they've been able to introduce not monthly contracts, but even weekly contracts. So now there's been a surge of activity in the options market. And a lot of our people are now being introduced to trading options, which is going to be phenomenal in terms of being able to close the wealth gap, because now we're able to actually make money faster in the stock market as opposed to waiting for a stock to appreciate in value, which takes time. And you also need that. But we also need a way to be able to take an opportunity to make money today out of the markets. And that's what trading options allows you to do.
So first, I have to interrupt and say real quickly, we have a lot of your students in the chat. We have somebody said, "Hey, Cassandra and Jay, so grateful for you both." And
Uh,
and that is the truth, because what they are doing is, one, they both have focused on our community. So they have made their classes available to us so that we learn this information. There's a lot of people out there. If you go on YouTube, there's a whole lot of people that don't look like us talking about this and teaching this. But these two have dedicated their time and talents to teaching our community. Specifically, Cassandra has a Stocks and Stilettos Society that has over 100,000 Black women that are investing. Maybe they don't
right.
all trade options, but they are investing and learning the importance of investing and how you can make money. And when she said, leverage, you don't have to wait for years for something to appreciate. We literally are talking about, you can day trade options. So you can buy an option at 9:30 in the morning, sell it at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or you can swing it for a day or two, or a week or two, or week or three, or you can do long term and you could have them for years. So what I love is that Cassandra says this is now money, and explain what
Yes,
now money is
now
so that they
money.
can understand exactly what we're talking about. Because everyone always
Yeah,
asks
it's
me, "Well,
money.
Renee, can you get the money out?"
Yeah, absolutely. You're not stuck in a contract for, months on end. You can actually extract, or as I like to say, print money. My friend said, "Aren't go ahead and turn on your print machine," right? So you can actually use the stock market like an ATM, print money, get money out now. And like Dr. Renee said, you can do that via a day trade, be in and out in a matter of, hours, or by swing trading, being in and out in a matter of days. And so that's actually been something that our community is just now getting, knowledge about. And then it's people like myself and like Jay that actually teach you how to do it in a way in which you don't lose your skirt or your shirt, and be able to actually, do pretty well. We have some ladies making, like I said, going from 500 to 5,000 in very short period of time. And that is something that most of our community, we're not accustomed to making money that fast. And to be able to
Legitimately.
take such small, legitimately, right? Take small amounts of money, $500, flip it, 10x it, right, to 5,000, and really like almost no time. Most of us have been trained that we have to get a good job and we got to work our fannies off to be able to make that type of money in that period of time. And so this is actually opening the doors to a whole new way of making money.
Yeah. So Jay, he calls his class "Build a Money." What is it? Become a money
Build,
machine.
become a money machine. Yes.
Yes, because same thing. Now money. That's today money. So explain what futures are.
So the futures, I like to explain them. It's just like an auction. That's it. If you've ever been to an auction or even watch any movies, it's like, hey, we're gonna auction off, let's say, this little trinket, right? You're gonna auction this off. All right, everybody, you with me? You're right. Starting bid $25 billion. Oh, nobody wants it for 25 billion? Okay, cool. What about $10 billion? Nobody? What about 1 billion? Okay, what about 100 million? Anybody would take it for 100,000? This little trinket, man, it's a fantastic trinket. What about anybody? $5,000? No? 3,000? 1,000? $50. Okay, okay. I'll give it to you for cheap. 99 cents. Would you take it at 99 cents? Type in the chat if you'll take it at 99 cents. Would you take it at 99 cents? It's fantastic. You can use it to hold your camera. It works with all kinds of phones. It has a little stretchy side. Would you take it for 99 cents? Maybe some of the wires are coming in now. I don't think, people are starting to realize, yeah, okay, for 99 cents, I'll take it. Well, all it is, I like that.
How was that sold?
Gilnick say sold. What happened just now was we presented an item and you determined what value you would participate. So what that looks like is a big red candle starting at $25 billion and going all the way down to 99 cents before I found a buyer. You realize? All you're doing is talking about the value of an asset. People in the market are determining the value amongst one another. Well, I think it's worth $1.75. Well, to me, it's worth $1.98. Well, to me, it's only worth 75 cents. And what we'll do all the time, what the futures are, is just an auction about the future value of an asset. That's all it is. And that is determined by the participants. We determine the value of everything. How much is a house? Well, the house is worth how much anybody will pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
To somebody, that house is not worth $1 million, but to somebody else, they bought it for 1.5 and was happy because they determine what value the house would have. And anytime you're in a place where you're making value added decisions and that you're exchanging value, you're in the market. And that's the futures. We're all in the futures market because we're all considering what we should have today and will it be more valuable in the future. The only reason we're willing to buy a stock right now at 75 cents is because we think tomorrow it'll be worth 90. That's the only reason.
Right.
If we think that we buy it now because tomorrow it's going to be worth 13 cents, we got it backwards.
Right.
We're not going to buy something today for $1 that's going to be worth 92 cents tomorrow. No, we'll lose 8 cents in a day. So that's all the futures are. The futures are just an auction about the future value of something.
So somebody asked, is futures metaverse the same thing?
I never said the word metaverse.
Right. No, he said, is it the same thing?
Nope, I never said the word metaverse ever.
No. Metaverse is it's a whole different, it's not futures.
The metaverse is quite simply a place where you can go and do and buy and sell things.
Right.
It's like if you ever played a game on your phone, like Farmville or something like that, it's just another world you can go to. That's a form of a metaverse, right? Because it's not happening in the real world and it's not happening in your dreams. It's being created in another place. So that's kind of a type of metaverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
So futures, I mean, they could be corn, it could be anything, gold,
Anything.
oil, the
Anything.
S&P 500, the NASDAQ,
Anything. I think everything in its essence, you know, if we have to be very definitive about the different types of class of instruments or the different asset classes that exist, you know, you got commodities and equities and you have indices and you have interest rates and you have all these different, you have foreign exchange, you have so many different ways and different asset classes you can trade. But the truth of the matter is all of them, we only buying it today because we think it's going to be worth something in the future. Every decision that we have in the market is about time. If you buy it today, you want it to be more expensive in the future. So that way you make the difference. If you sell it today, you want it to be less. Listen to me. You can sell it today and you hope that it'll be less valuable tomorrow because that way your prediction about the future value of the asset would be correct. We only make money when we have a future decision, a decision about the asset that's coming in the future. It could be like Dr. Renee said, it could be later on today. You can start at 9 and your future is 3 in the afternoon. You can start in the daytime. Your future can be 3 minutes from now. Your future can be 3 years from now. But you only make money if your prediction about the future value of the asset is correct. So you can say, hey, this asset is less valuable than it is today and sell it and be profitable. And you can say this asset will be more valuable than it is today and you can buy it and be profitable. So that's really what it is. And yeah, the hog futures are good. I have some students that trade that too.
Okay. So Cassandra, you are doing a Build a Bag boot camp. Can you explain what is that?
So Build a Bag is our signature program to teach people about trading options. But before Build a Bag, we kind of put together a prerequisite, or if you will, kind of like a preview to trading options called Build a Bag Boot Camp. And so we teach you the 5 things you need to know to trade options before you actually take the course. And so we teach you about candlesticks. We teach you about reading charts. We teach you how to actually read the option menu, which is the option chain. So we teach you some things to kind of get you going before you actually enter the course, because a lot of times people are fairly new to investing, right? And so this is an introduction to trading options. So Build a Bag Bootcamp kicks off on Monday. So we're really excited about that.
So everyone, the link to Build a Bag Bootcamp is in the post. But I wanted to say that this course, because a lot of people are going to ask, when you come in, there's many of us that came in and had no idea. All I had ever done was I had a little Robinhood account and I bought, I think I had bought a share of Apple or something. I just, that's all I had done. I did not know what an option was. I didn't know what a future was. But I said, you know what? These people are talking a good game. And I saw their students that were doing very well. And I was like, well, shoot, if they can do it, there's no reason I can't do it. So that is why I took the courses. Somebody just asked, can you do both at the same time? I actually bought both of them at the same time. It was August 11th of 2020. And I bought Jay's course because Jay's course is videos. I bought his course. And then Cassandra opened enrollment later that month and I bought that course. And so I did it at the same time. As a matter of fact, I probably started using my money maybe weeks apart. So there's actually play money or some sort of simulator on both platforms. So I was doing that up until a point, and then I started using money, my real money. So I did that I think a few weeks apart. So yes, you can do both at the same time. But so Build a Bag Boot Camp, you guys, I'm telling you, in those 5 days, you are going to learn everything that you didn't know. You will learn, and you will be ready to take Build a Bag, the real course. But you will learn. The way that they both explain things is so easy for anyone to understand. They've got students that have degrees, and they've got students that went to trade school. They got students that didn't make it out of school. They got ex-cons, and I mean, they run the gamut. Literally, seriously.
That's true. we take everybody. Everybody
and they take
needs
everyone.
This. I feel like I'm Oprah sometimes. Like, you get an option, you get an option, you get an option. Everybody get an option, okay? Because you need to know this.
Yeah. And this is information, you guys, that no one can ever take away from you. You will
Right.
always have it.
Right.
And as Cassandra reminded us all the time, the pandemic came, but the stock market opened every single Monday, Tuesday. It was open.
Yes, I said they will shut the world down, but they will not turn off the stock market.
No.
At all. I mean, they
Never.
had the circuit breakers. They cool the market off for 15 minutes, and guess what? It will rev right back up.
Yes, it
They will
will
not shut down that stock market. That tells you right there how important it is in our society, period, right? People are making money every day in that stock market. We
Yes,
need
they
to
are.
get a piece of it.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. And like she said, you can print money. So do you need to make money? You go in and say, okay, this is what I need to do, and you go make it happen. But you just have to have the knowledge. It's all about the education. You don't want to do something and have no idea what you're doing, because that's when you lose money.
Right.
You want to have the knowledge. And the best thing about both courses is that they teach you about risk management.
Right.
And later, because like I said, Cassandra has to leave early, but later we'll talk about with the futures, you don't even have to trade your money. You can trade other people's money. But with options, it's your money. But Cassandra teaches you risk management and makes sure that you cover yourself so that you don't lose your money. And the other thing is you can only lose your premium. So don't spend more than you have to lose. It's my philosophy.
Right.
So then you don't have to think about, oh my God. So somebody asked, how long does it take for me to learn futures? Jay says, how many weeks do you think you can take one person from nothing to something?
Typically you give me 21 days of effort, I'll change your life. In 3 weeks, people, like, if you come to me with absolutely no knowledge, let's just say you're from Mars, you have no idea what's going on. You've never seen a computer before. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You give me 3 weeks and you'll know what's going on. Within the first 60 days, you'll be taking your first profitable trade. And that's if you're willing to put about an hour to an hour and a half of work in per night. I do have like some add-along courses. One of them is called the 21-Day Success Guide, where every day for 21 days, I tell you exactly what you need to do in order to ingest and master the material. The only thing that I cannot guarantee, like if you think about it, Cassandra and I, we're just gym owners. That's what we do. We turn people from weak, scrawny financial people to very muscular, strong financial people. But the thing is, with the gym, like no one blames the gym if they don't lose weight. They
Right.
blame the kitchen, they blame their own self-control. And then a lot of times people, well, how long it take to be profitable? Well, how willing are you to work? If you'll put in the work, I promise the material is not broken. The material works, and it'll work if you do.
Hmm.
So that's just how I like to answer that question. I believe that everyone deserves the right to financial freedom, but that doesn't mean everyone will exercise that right, because after all, exercising things requires effort. And if you want to get rich quick scheme, then this is not the game for you. If you want to not have self-control, this is not a game for you. If you want to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it, this is not the game for you. This is a game of mastery of a skill. You wouldn't expect to be a master plumber after the first time you've seen some pipes underneath the sink, just like you don't expect to be a master trader just because you bought a course. You got to put in the work. But Dr. Renee is here. She's taken the course and so many others. So you already know she don't seem too upset about taking
No,
it.
not at all.
I think you'll be all right.
So,
Sam Strong in the set. I see some bullies. If it's any bullies on here, man, y'all
yeah,
muscle
make
out
sure you
real
put
fast in the chat. Let me see
yeah.
where y'all at, man. It's good to see you. Thank you for stopping.
Cassandra, how is the Build a Bag boot camp? How does it go? Because people want to know. Well, I got to work and I got to do this. Uh-oh, can she hear us?
She's muted right now.
Oh yeah,
I'm
maybe
not sure
she
if she
can't hear us.
can hear us.
Okay. So I somebody's confused on how Jay's class differs from Cassandra's. So
Okay.
Jay is teaching us futures, which is different than options. And the other thing about futures is we can trade futures starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night all the way to Friday at 5. The market closes for what? 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and like 4 something, 5
Yeah.
something
Yes.
every day. And that's it. So you could trade futures when you get off work at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock in the night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. You could trade futures. And then Cassandra with options, the market unfortunately is only 9:30 to 5 o'clock. Oh, she can't hear us. Okay.
Yeah, those hours are our hours, and I've had students from all walks of life, from all parts of the world. It's just very important to understand that when we teach, when we educate, like the job is not to give you a market trick that you can perform like a little trick. No, it's to get you to understand how markets really work, what they are, what's happening. You know what I'm saying? How to interpret the people that are in the market with you and how to predict with a high percentage of probability what's going to happen in the future. Oh, I see it's a whole lot of bullies in the set. It's good
Right.
to see everybody
Somebody
muscling up.
said, should a person trade futures or options if they're new? You could do both. I'm telling you, the way that these people explain things was so simplistic that, if you had a knowledge, you'd probably be confused because they don't use necessarily the terminology, because they use terminology that we can understand. And that's what made sense to me. Yes, I am a doctor, but finance wasn't my thing. I didn't know about the stock market like this.
Right.
I didn't know about the candlesticks.
Right.
And what knowledge I had gotten from Jay's class, I was able to apply that candlestick knowledge to what I learned in Cassandra's class and was like, oh, that's what's happening.
Right.
There's a gap right there that needs to be filled. We should go and buy that option.
Right.
So, it was, like I said, if you could be new, never, ever watched, what's the channel that people watch to watch the stock market thing with the ticker?
Like Bloomberg and stuff
Exactly,
like that.
Bloomberg. And if you've never watched it a day in your life.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you
You
now.
can
We
hear
got
me,
you.
but I can't hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. You're there?
Yeah, she can't hear us though.
Okay.
I'm going to type it in. Explain Boot camp. Okay. So hopefully she'll see my message.
Okay, so the boot camp, you want me to explain the boot camp now? Okay, perfect. So with the boot camp, we kick off on Monday, April 18th, the day after Easter, and we have live instruction. Live instruction kicks off at 4:30 p.m. Pacific every day. However, we will have the replays in there for you to look at, and we're going to give you the foundation. So day one, we talk about calls and puts, and we show you how to actually set up your orders. And then day two, we go over the option chain, which is really the menu of option contracts that you can actually scan and purchase. So we show you how to read the menu. Day three, we go over the candlesticks. Like, what's a candlestick? How to tell what's a good candlestick, what's not a good candlestick. What does the green candlesticks mean? The red candlesticks mean? How do you actually interpret these price movements? And then on day 4 and 5, we actually get into charts and chart patterns. So there's no math. There's no math. People think that trading involves like calculus problems, differential equations, you know, some of the hard stuff, but trading is actually more of a visual exercise, visual science. And once you can actually train your eyes to, you know, look at the charts, understand the indicators, bam, that's really going to open up doors for you to be able to actually make the money. So you really have to just sort of train your eye on the patterns, like, okay, bam, I see that this is actually going to move this direction. Let me buy a call. Or bam, I know that the price is going to end up moving in this direction. Let me buy a put. So this is going to come through practicing, understanding the price movements, understanding the candlesticks. And that's really what it boils down to when we get into trading. And so if you have a good teacher holding your hand, helping you recognize these patterns, it's going to become second nature. And that's going to allow you to make more money.
Okay,
I like the sound of that. Make
Someone's
more
asking
money.
about the boot
I
camp,
like
like
that.
how much do they get a package deal for it? But the boot camp is really inexpensive. We only charging $49 for the boot camp, which is the 5 days, and then that hopefully can get you ready to go for the actual course. So the actual course is 5 months, and that's about $1,500.
so
Are
So
you
it
there?
looks like I got a jam because I got a hard stop in 30 minutes. But Renee's gonna take it from here.
yep.
Build a Bag Boot Camp. If you want to learn more, Build a Bag, www.buildabagbootcamp.com. You can learn more about what we're gonna cover in those 5 days. You can even sign up there. So I just want to thank Dr. Renee. Always good to see my brother Jay the Trader.
Much love,
In
sis.
these out in these internet streets. But I do have another engagement that I got to get to. So I really appreciate you inviting me on, and I hope to see everyone that's in the chat. Come on and join us for Build a Bag Boot Camp. I got some of my Build a Bag 7.0, 8.0 ladies. Thanks for showing up and showing out in the chat, and I'll see everybody real soon. Bye.
Much
Bye.
love, big sis.
So you guys, like I said, the links are in the chat. And also Stocks and Stilettos, if you want to join her group, that's in the chat too. So make sure in the chat, excuse me, in the post. And actually I'll put it in the chat in a second. But no, there's no package deal because these two are completely independent of each other. So there's no package deal. Like I said, I did both at the same time. It wasn't a big deal. But Jay, I want you to tell people because somebody was like, trade other people's money. So Jay, please break it down for them how we end up trading other people's money. And honestly, you guys, this is what everybody else does. They just didn't tell us. So go ahead.
Right. Just to let you know, everybody is trading somebody else's money. When someone says Warren Buffett They says he has a company called Berkshire Hathaway that's worth da 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 da, or he has da 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 assets under management. All they're saying is that someone gave Warren Buffett money to invest. That's what you do. Like if you buy a stock, that company is using your money. They are funded by you to expand the company. They are funding. You're in the funding business. When you're buying stocks, you're funding somebody. And you've benefited from this as well. When you purchased your vehicle, maybe you purchased a vehicle, you put a little money down, and someone gave you a loan for the rest. Or maybe when you purchased your home, you put a little money down, and someone gave you the money for the rest. You still said this was my house, but have you finished paying it off? If not, then it's not really all the way your house for real. You were funded. Somebody funded your home. You proved that you had the track record good enough to pay them back for what they had done. So they were open to giving you the funds. Same thing when you trade, or same thing when you're an investor. If you show me that you have a 13% per year, 22% per year track record for the last 20 years, I'll give you some money so you can do 20% for me. That's it. And if you are a trader, you can show your fitness. Hey, I just traded. I took this sim money, paper money, fake money. I took fake money, and over the last 20 days, I made $8,000. Okay, great. Well, your profit target was $7,000. You show me that you can adequately and proficiently trade money. So instead of it being paper money like you just did, here's some real money to trade. And because you have a proven track record and you can show proficiency and ability to manage capital, people will give you their money to trade. Simple.
Yep. And there is, and I mean, this isn't pennies either on the dollar. The first combine I passed was $100,000 combine. And you can get $25,000 ones, $50,000 ones. So there's all different price points. They even go 200 and something, but all different price points. But I'm telling you, the best thing to do, and I didn't listen in the beginning, and I was using my money, and I finally was, my money coach was like, you need to do a combine. And I was like, but why? But it was so much better because doing the combine, I could trade multiple contracts, which means I don't have to trade that often or that long. So you could trade 4, 10 contracts. You make your money 5 ticks, you're done. You could be done.
When you say your money, what kind of money were you making every day? What was like your daily totals?
So with my money, I made I think the most I made one day was like $500.
Okay.
But with their money, I could make thousands very quickly because I was
So
trading.
what was your largest day?
1,500, I think, was my largest day.
1,500.
Yes. And you guys,
what number would you say you made consistently? Was it like 800 a day, 500 a day, 900 a day? What was like
my
your
goal
consistent?
was, I think I would try and do 500 a day, and I could usually get very close to that. So if I didn't get 500 a day, I got 400 a day. And when we say a day, I traded for maybe an hour or two and probably made that money in 15, 20 minutes.
There you go.
On my first day of live trading, which means I stopped using the simulator and was using my actual money, I made the money back for the course in 15 minutes.
Basically.
That was it. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it.
Yep.
Couldn't believe it. I was just like, I just did that. I just did that.
You can believe
somebody
it.
asked, does he trade the NQ? Jay, tell them what you trade.
I trade the 30-year Treasury bonds and the S&P 500. I can trade whatever is put in front of me.
I was going to say, yes.
It is my desire to trade what I want to trade. I don't feel the need to have to trade a lot of different things a day.
Yeah. So
my students trade all sorts of stuff. I was
going to say, his method
because I teach them how to trade. I teach them how it works. So they can take what I teach them, go trade options with it, go trade futures with it, trade the hogs, trade crude oil, trade orange juice. They know how to read candles when I'm done with them, so they can trade anything.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. We trade whatever we want to trade, but what he teaches us allows us to do that. So, I do trade the NQ. I like the NQ. Somebody said, Jay, what's the most you made in one day?
Enough to smile.
Right.
No, truthfully, the most I've ever made in one day, I've made 3,643 students happy. I've made the information in my head go into someone else's head. Um, Oftentimes, we think about profit and loss as better or worse. Like, oh, this person made $100,000 in a day. They're better than another person who made $5,000 a day, or better than another person who made $300 a day. But P&Ls can be so misleading
Right.
because, as you know, if I take 100 contracts and push them a few ticks, then I'm going to look like I made a lot of money today, where I probably made bad trading decisions and got out of a trade too soon or got in at the wrong spot. I think for me, I'm not after P&Ls anymore. I don't have any bills that I can't take care of. I don't have any debt that I can't pay. I don't I'm not hard up for cash. Like, I'm not that kind of guy. You know, I make the money I want to make and then I'm done. But I think what I'm after right now, it can't be quantified on like a trading platform.
Right.
My goal is 200,000 families served, 200,000 students. You know, I want 200,000 students. That's my goal. I'm at 3,643 people. And I don't know, I don't know how people feel about that. I don't know, you know, but I'm in a whole nother, I don't even shoot at those P&L baskets anymore. Because after what? Like, after you take a private flight, after that, it's just a trip.
Right.
After you go to the best restaurant in the world, you still gonna get hungry again. That food don't last forever.
Right.
I love playing golf, so I play some of the world's most pristine golf. But even after you play a pristine, like, you might pay $2,500 for a round of golf. You know what I'm saying? Maybe another 10 grand a night for the hotel that's on the resort. You know what I'm saying? But after that, it's just golf. So my favorite food is still something my wife gonna make, and that don't cost that much money. You know, I'm not really on that frequency. I don't shoot at those baskets. The baskets that I'm shooting at, are the baskets are changing people's lives every day. The lady that's on the screen brought me here because after I taught her, she turned into a machine. That's what I'm after. I'm after making people know that they don't have to be stressed about money. They don't have to be stressed about bills. They don't have to work in a bad work environment where they're getting all kind of, bad negative energy. You don't have to be stuck in your situation. You don't have to have a negative financial outlook. You don't have to be financially insecure. You don't have to do that. You can gain a skill that no one can take away from you, where you know that you can make money every day. Now, let's do some real numbers, because everybody want to talk about how much you make in a day. And, I had some pretty good days in my life, but let's talk some numbers.
He has. And the other thing I have to say, Jay, is he has a trade room where he trades live in front of you. And that's the other thing that really was like eye-opening to me, because I was in the trade room before I was even trading. So I was sitting there watching him, and I'm like, oh my God, he just made this much money. And then he does P&Ls, and I'm watching everybody else, and I'm like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And so that all, because Jay knows, I was like, I'm done, I quit, I can't do it. He's like, no, you're good. I go, no, I'm not.
Stick with it. Stick with it.
But you just got to
Yeah.
stick with it.
So
Drake, how much are the ticks on the NQ? I can't remember. Somebody wants to know how many is 100
$10 a
contract.
contract.
How much?
It's $10 a contract.
Okay, so 10 ticks
No,
times that.
$10 per tick per contract.
So, okay, so that's like $10,000, right?
Per tick, if you put a 100
100
contracts on a
contracts?
$10. Yeah.
So that's how much, Larry. Yeah, so the trade room, is it daily? Yes, the trade room is daily. The trade room is in addition to your course, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the trade room is daily. And it like I said, it was an eye opener to me just to see him trading live in front of us. And I'm like, oh, and so we saw when he, had a good day or a bad day. He was very transparent. It was on the screen. You couldn't miss it.
Right.
There are instructors out there, unfortunately, that do not trade live. And so you're like, I don't know if you know what you're doing, but you do know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And Cassandra, one of her students that was in my class, is now the person running options trading, running Build-A-Bag. I interviewed her on the Ask Dr. Renee show on Saturday, if you want to go watch that video. But she trades live with some of her students, and that is eye-opening too, to watch that. And because it's crazy with options too. It is insane, just like it is with futures. But I
Yeah.
always tell people I did both, but I Futures, the money came much faster because literally it would be a matter of minutes and boom, it's there. Options, I think that has only happened to me 2 or maybe 1 or 2 times. There was
Right.
one time in a matter of like 10 minutes, I literally went up 1100%. It was the most amazing thing I ever saw in my life, and I couldn't hit the button fast enough to get out. It's like, get me out, get me out. We're good, we're good. But futures happens that fast all the time. Options doesn't usually happen quite that quickly. Maybe 15 minutes, maybe an hour. But futures, literally, you could sit there and go in and watch the candle go up and be like, okay, we've hit my target, we're done and we're out.
Yeah.
And there's so many.
Also, if I add, I misspoke. It's $5
Oh,
per tick per
$5
contract
tick.
on the NQ.
Someone said, you don't trade the NQ, do you?
No,
He
I
doesn't.
don't.
And you know what? The
My
bonds,
students do.
huh? Yeah, exactly.
I
The
think my students
bonds,
do. Like they come to me, they don't know anything. I teach them, then they go trade whatever they want to trade.
exactly.
So
And
no,
then
I
no,
don't
the
trade it.
MNQ is even less than $5, so it's $2.50 then probably.
Yeah. I mean, the market is like Vegas. They're gonna find a game that everybody's willing to play. So whatever game you want to play, if you got the $5 ready, if you got that much, or if you can't do it, you got the minis. They got a product for you, no matter what your starting capital is, for sure.
And the platform we use, Ninja Trader, is so friendly to people that don't have large bank accounts because we know we won't talk about. There's another platform that charges a astronomical amount of money for your margin. It's just ridiculous. It's a
Mhm.
4-figure amount, whereas the Ninja Trader, you just really do have to have $500 and
You're
you
off
can
to the
get
races.
started.
Yeah.
But even better, do a combine and they pay for all that and you don't pay for that.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And that's, like I said, that's what I should have done in the beginning. If I had it to do over, I would. But I have informed everyone that has come into the course after me, just do the combine. Don't put your
Right.
money in there. Just do the combine because
Right.
you can practice for free. And then you don't have to buy a license either because they'll give you that too.
Whatever works for them. You know, the
Exactly.
biggest thing is just making sure that they have the realization that anything is possible. They don't have to feel financially insecure anymore. That's the most important thing. However you get to the money, there's plenty of ways to get to the money. Just realize you can get to the money.
Right. And
Yeah.
Jay always said, it's not about making the money, it's what you can do because you have it.
Yeah. The money's not the goal. It's never
The
been the
goal
goal.
is
No one
whatever
wants to
is
make
that
money.
thing that you wanted to do, but you couldn't do it because you had to go to work or because you didn't have enough money. Whatever it is, there's some people, especially in the pandemic, they couldn't homeschool their children because they had to go to work. Well, Jay taught them how to trade. Now they can stay home.
Yep.
Couldn't buy a house. Jay taught them how to trade. They bought a house. And I'm telling, these are stories that are true stories. I know these people. So it is amazing what can be done. We didn't know, so we got to learn. And
That's
thankfully, Jay taught us. Somebody asked, how did you get into trading? Jay was actually on the Ask Dr. Renee show and told his whole story, which is very amazing. But Jay, I want you to tell him, how much money did you have in the bank when you started trading?
I didn't have enough money to do anything. I used other people's money to get started. I didn't have no money. I didn't have any money. I didn't no money. I started with other people's money. One up trader in a 50K combine. That was it. That was how I got the money to start.
So
Yeah.
this is what I'm telling you, you guys. This is a great program. Both of them great programs, but with futures, it's just awesome that we don't have to use our own money. And the margins, I mean, the profits are ridiculous. I think the one that I'm doing is 90-10. I keep 90% and they get 10%. So it's not like because you're trading other people's money, you're not making a lot of money. No, 90% is a good deal. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
The process to trade the combines. Explain it. Somebody said, what's the process?
There are so many different combines and processes vary depending on which you take. It's sort of like if you wanted to buy a house with Countrywide when they were what they were versus Rocket Mortgage now, they might require different proof of fitness. So I can't tell you that there's one process. You have to just do a little bit of reading and you'll figure it out. In fact, in our community, we have a combine specialist by the name of Samuel J. Strong III. He's a mentor in our community, a fantastic trader. He manages millions of dollars at this point for other people. And he's a very good resource on figuring out, what's the best combine to join and for what reason. Some have different payout schedules, some have different split schedules, some of them have different testing and evaluation schedules. So it really the process differs as you go.
Yeah. So some of them it's a 10-day, some of them it's a month. So you just have to figure out what are the rules and make sure you don't break them. Someone said, what's the difference between your course and Ian's?
Mine is better.
I'm just going to say what I know. His is affordable. I'm sorry. I have seen the ticket price on Ian's course, and that price alone would have made me not a trader.
Aside from affordability, even if his was $1, mine is still just better.
And you know what? And I will say the other thing about Jay and Cassandra, it's the community. It's the community. It's the community. Like he said, we're the bullies. We are all bond bullies. And Cassandra, we're all stilettos.
I think that's fantastic, Renee. But what I was going to say is, if you want to know if a tree is a good tree, then you don't have to check the tree. Just check the fruit coming off it.
Right. And that's
check the
community.
Check the fruit coming off the tree. See how many people are actually doing what I promise after I promise it. If the numbers are there, then it makes sense. If the numbers aren't there, then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So
and by the way, black and blue, I'm going to say it one more time. Mine is better.
Literally, it's the community. There's so many people, because Jay is only one person, Cassandra's only one person. But think about all the people that they taught that could answer the question for you, whatever the question is. And many of them will hop on a Zoom and say, let me show you whatever and help you that way too. So it's just, community is amazing. And most of the people I still to this day have never met, but I feel like I know them because I was like, hey, how do I do this? I don't understand that. More than happy to answer the question, make sure I understood, keep it moving.
Right.
Keep it moving. So, so anyone have any other questions about, Jay the Trader's course? And if I can answer, I'll answer about Cassandra's course. But I have put the links. I put the links in the chat and they're in the post. Please, please, please. I highly recommend. And also, Jay, how is the little boy doing? The one that was in high school.
Oh, Chandler.
Yes, I knew his name started with C. I was going to say that.
Oh, he's doing fantastic. Everybody, Dr. Renee is referring to a student of mine who purchased the course when he was in his senior year, the summer before his senior year in high school. That summer, he made about $85,000 in about 6 weeks. He did so with what I had taught him. And his school, in fact, found out about him. And they didn't even want him to have to come to school at 7 a.m. like all the rest of the high schoolers. He was able to come to school after lunchtime when he was done trading. I know that he took care of his own college education. His parents didn't have to do that. Yeah, I know he did that. And other than that, he's fine, making money every day. Good kid.
So my point was
no longer a kid, great young man.
He's a man.
Shout out to Chandler.
Peace my point is that you can do this at any age. Children are very smart.
My youngest student is 13.
See?
Well, I've taught some kids now, so I do have a couple 8-year-olds, and they're pretty cold-blooded. And then my oldest student is Miss Williams, is going to be 70 this year. When she purchased the course, she was 68. Miss Williams, her name is Miss Williams. She's from New Jersey. So the course and the material is not age prohibitive. It's just, if you're lazy, it's not good for you.
Right.
But if you want to work a little bit, like if you have an hour a day, you're going to be all right. Straight up.
And that just means you might have to skip one of your shows. But Jay has to go. I will stay on because there are a few more questions. Jay, thank you so much, sir.
You already know. Hey, look, everybody, if you take anything away from this, take 2 things. The first thing that you should take away from this is, if you're on this call and you haven't shared this, shame on you. Share it. Why? Because you shouldn't be the only person exposed to this kind of information. Just like you didn't know what we were talking about when we got talking, I'm sure people who are connected to you or are in your network will also benefit from this show. Shout out to blackdoctor.org, of course, for having me. And of course, Dr. Renee for thinking of me. And when it comes down to the financial literacy, like FinLit month is very, very real. The second thing that I want to say is this: you have to live your life by two words. The two words should be grow and serve. All we want to do is grow. You're basically doing everything in life you want to do right now anyways. You're making a little money, you're saving a little money, you're spending a little money, and you're giving a little money to your friends. The only thing you really want to do is more of what you're already doing. You want to make a little more money, you want to save a little more money, you want to spend a little more money, and you want to be able to give a little more money to your friends. Well, all you sounds like you just want to grow, and I believe that growing is necessary. You have to grow your capacity, you have to grow your ability, you have to grow your power, you have to grow financially, you have to grow. But we don't just grow for growing's sake. That's ridiculous. To build new barns just so you can have bigger barns to store more stuff is ridiculous. You have to let your cup run over. That's how you live your life. So after you're done growing, the next word, the two that I really believe in, I believe in grow, but I definitely believe in serve. To serve, you have to teach, you have to share, you have to point people in the right direction, you have to be their commandant, you have to walk alongside them, you have to encourage them, but you have to have a life that is rooted inside of service. See, the best part of getting is giving, and in fact, the getting is in the giving. I've eaten at some cool places, I've traveled some cool places, I've done some pretty hefty things with some of this bread. It's still nothing compares to when Dr. Renee called me the first time and said, "Oh my God, Jay, I had a winning trade. I just made all this money back. Oh my God." Like, that's still the most exciting part of it, because it's in the serving that you really, really get the value. See, money is fake, but energy is real. The energy Dr. Renee is giving out, the positive energy, the education, the growing that she's allowing you to do by sitting here and talking to me. An hour of my time is not cheap anymore. It's pretty expensive. You know what I'm saying? So for her to take the time to present this is powerful. So I want you all to grow, and I want you all to share. I want you all to serve. If I can leave you with anything, it would be those two things. Make sure you share this stuff and support the stuff that's happening for Black Doctor and Dr. Renee. And lastly, but definitely not least, make sure that you grow and serve, because that's the bully way. Hey, shout out to all the bullies on the call too. I think I saw a few of y'all. You already know what it is. We all we got, but that's cool. We all we need. Okay, baby. Okay, it's time to go. As you can see, my house is about to. Okay, let's go watch a movie. I promised a movie today, so I gotta go.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, much love.
So, Stacy, the receipts, go follow Jay's Instagram. He has tons of receipts in there. And if you join Stocks and Stilettos Society, you can see all the receipts in there. I'm a receipt. Tamika, oh my God, Tamika, hi! Tamika is somebody I used to trade with in the trade room in the mornings. Tamika, Draka, there's a whole lot of receipts here. Derek, there's a whole lot of receipts here. So yes. And then the other receipt is that if you watch the Ask Dr. Renee show with Jay the Trader, you will hear him tell his story. His story is amazing. But those are Jay's daughters. He has 3 daughters at home, and Jay and his wife no longer have to go work for anyone else because Jay trades. And then now Jay teaches. Jay didn't teach when I took his course. He hadn't even been teaching a year. Now he's almost at 2 years, I think, of teaching. So now he makes money, obviously, teaching, but really he was trading, and he taught us to trade. So that is so there's plenty of receipts, Stacy. You don't have to look far. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It is literally learning a skill. And if you don't have the patience to learn the skill, then forget it. It's not for you. But if you have the patience to learn the skill, then learn the skill. Gloria, the point was to learn what options and futures were, because options and futures is something that, we have a lot of financial literacy going on about save this and buy this stock because it's going to go up in 10 years. A lot of people didn't know about options and futures being a way that they could make money today. So that was the point of today. Black and blue, I don't know, because like I said, I took the course in 2020, but I did provide you with the link that has that information. Draka, you can hit up Draka. Put Alicia or Draka, can you put your Instagram in there? I'm gonna try and find it real fast though. but I don't want to get it wrong. Prolific Prosperity Official, Instagram. Prolific Prosperity Official. I will try and type it. Stacy, you didn't look hard enough because I've seen his receipts and I haven't been in the trade room in over a year. So you didn't look at the right thing apparently. But yeah, I've seen them myself. But I'm not trying to convince anyone anything. I'm taking care of mine. So I'm just trying to give the information. That's all I can do is try and give the information. If you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know that I didn't have to have the $600 to buy Tesla stock. I could just buy an option and make $600 in a few hours. I didn't know that until Cassandra. I didn't know that I could look at a screen at a bunch of candlesticks going up and down in red and green, and I could make $500 in 15 minutes. I didn't know that. Larry, when I took the course, when I took Cassandra's course, it cost me $500 something, and when I took Jay's course, it was $200 something. But I took both courses in 2020. You know, waiting is not a wealth strategy, and unfortunately, things go up. In case anybody hasn't noticed how much gas, milk, everything has gone up. Thank you, Claudia. The idea is you must diversify how we earn our money. Oh, the other thing is, Lisa Nichols said on the Ask Dr. Renee show, she said, most millionaires have 7 streams of income. Here's 2 I just provided you with. Yesterday's price is not today's price. That is exactly right. Oh, somebody's watching from the UK. Hi. So, oh, it is? Ooh, I didn't know that. You just told me something. I do know I heard Cassandra say her course is $1,500. But the boot camp, great starter, $49. But you want to take the course, I will tell you. And I'm telling you, it's going to be worth your time and your money. She tries to take you from 500 to 5,000 in the 5 months. Draka is one of the reasons why I took Build a Bag, because she did her 500 to 5,000 in 3 weeks. Blew me away. Draka is another person why I took Jay's course, because Draka has her goal at the time was $4,500 a day. I was like, that would be fine. So yeah. Stacy, I understand there's a lot of scammers. These 2 are not, which is why they're on Black Doctor. We don't bring that. No, you should not. You should go and do a combine, Robert. Like I said, Stacy, I can't convince you of anything. I'm not trying to. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not going to sell you anything. I just wanted to give you the information. Tanya, Build a Bag was awesome. Okay, so it is 6:58, and I am going to log off. And next week, God willing, because I think I got them booked, but next week we're going to celebrate Autism Awareness Month, and it should be very, very, very entertaining and very educational at the same time. I will see you guys next week. And of course, you know the Ask Dr. Renee show Saturdays at 3 on my Ask Dr. Renee channel. But if you want to know Cassandra's story and Jay's story, both of them not born with silver spoons in their mouths, check out the Ask Dr. Renee show, where I sat down with them for an hour and they told their stories of how they got to where they are today. Check it out. Bye. Good night.